friends. We are starting a new week. I always start the week on Saturday night, begins for me, even though we haven't quite reached sundown. We're coming into the week of Passover. This is a huge, huge deal because it seems to me, and I put out a short video this morning about this. It seems to me that April 2nd begins at what in Yiddishkeit is called halachic, meaning legal midnight. Legal midnight. Halachic midnight. The point of midnight, the point where the darkest part of the night, the deepest, the part where farthest away from noon, let's say, right? It's 12 hours away from noon. Hi, Mommy Wolverine. At halachic midnight, at the depth of midnight, is when the Yidden, and remember, I don't use the word Jews because Jews is a made-up word made up by the enemy, and so much came to mind today. I have a lot to say because I saw this Charlie Freak video that he just totally blew my mind, man. That guy is awesome. If you're not subscribing to Charlie Freak, if you're not subscribing to Big Daddy, if you're not subscribing to all these, like, there's another one. Sirius B, is it Sirius B or Sirius? Yeah, Sirius B. Sirius B, magnificent, total. Zachary Fisher, all these people. There are many more. I haven't even gotten to the list. I just saw Big Daddy posted a video of me. Says you should watch this. Thanks, Zeta Boy. So what's going to happen to seniors that live clock to clock? What information can you give us? Check to check. I'll tell you the information. I'll tell you straight up and I got this from a video today. Don't pay your fucking bills. Are you insane? Buy groceries. Don't pay any bills, period. Don't pay your car payment. I mean, I lost my car because I didn't pay my car payment. So, I mean, why am I telling you this? Don't pay your bills. If you're a senior, don't pay your bills. Please buy your groceries. If you can't afford groceries and you're so frightened by the world, probably from Serbia. Wow. I have friends going to Slovakia very soon for Pesach, for Passover. That's what I would say to seniors or anybody else. Okay, I'm gonna do this differently. There's so much going on. First of all, Charlie Freak. I saw a video, and there were two things that he said. Most of what he said, I kind of understand. What he basically was saying in the video I saw, which I posted on my X channel, is that it's a done deal. It's done. It's done. We're done. We're free. We're absolutely 100% free right now. All the countries of the world have surrendered to Donald J. Trump, period. What more? The Republic is activated. I would still join the Republic. But according to Charlie Freak, and I really like his information. All the nations of the world have surrendered. Maybe the corporations are still acting up. Maybe the little guys are acting up. Thank you for your teaching. Sure, James. I hope I'm teaching. I have a great thing about teaching too in this. And also, I'm going to be doing an interview with Kelby Smith, who, if you're worried about your mortgage or your credit card bills or any of this stuff, come to my channel. That would be 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Monday. I'm having a discussion with a great legal expert and superhuman, totally cool dude named Kelby Smith on 1 o'clock on Monday. So please join us there. if you're worried. I want to ask him, like, how do I keep the creeps from touching my property ever? Ever. This is my property. I paid $90,000 for it, of gold and silver, basically. And I want to keep it. I don't want to have any legal troubles. I don't want to get stolen from me. However, they're done. These people are done. They are toast. They are history. The only thing that's left, is for you and I to wake up. That's what they're waiting for, because they don't want to freak the world out by just the whole everything. Everything was a lie. Everything is going to be restructured completely in a beautiful way. We'll have plenty of stuff. We'll never be, poverty will be a thing of, you'll tell your kids, yeah, there were, when I was 71, there were homeless people on the streets, and we'd give them a few dollars. They'll be like, Dad or Granddaddy or whatever, what's a homeless person? You mean a person didn't have a home? I'm saying, yeah, back in the old days when the Satanists, when the creeps were in charge, they charged us rent just to live. And they'd be like, that's really what they did? That's insane. The kids will say, that's insane. Charge you for living? Charge you to live in a place and keep it up? We're coming to, you paid for lawful money, gold, silver. They can't tax it. Right. They can't tax it. I just saw a thing where a guy said, my property, the value of my property doubled, and now I pay more taxes. Did I make any money on that? No. Did I sell the house? No. Why am I paying more taxes? It's all a criminal hoax. So a thing that Charlie Freak said that really made me feel a lot better, even though Caspa of Quantum Bridge has told me this to my face, one-to-one, man-to-man. He said, Ellie, I'm like, well, why don't I have millions of followers? And Charlie Freak said it. He just said it. He says, it's because we're considered nutcases. And so on one hand, I want to just say that people are just so deeply asleep, but I also want to congratulate everyone that's on my channel right now. And I have 123 at this moment. I mean, I did a video this morning that got 28,000 hits already in 9 hours. There are people that are listening to us, but it's a tiny fraction of humanity that understands what is really going on. What is going on is that not the Great Awakening is coming and Gesara is coming. The Republic will be reinstated. It's already happened. It happened in, was it 2020, 2017? All the nations of the world capitulated. They gave up because the white hats have it all. The NSA had information about every one of these creepazoids and what they do to children. And they just said, if you don't capitulate, if you don't surrender your everything to Donald Trump, we're going to release the information. I'm going to get the girls over here. Hang on. Cool, man. Okay. Two together we are wound. Is that Jenna? Is that Jenna from the old days? In the future, we won't have an electric grid. Yeah. I mean, but that's just the beginning. We won't have an electric grid. We'll have free energy. You'll have a little shoebox to power your whole house. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. But anyway, I want to compliment you guys for being here. That's what Charlie Freak said. He says, how come Charlie Freak has, he has a lot more than me, but I mean, it's nothing. This is a guy who put out the truth and continues to put out the truth. People can't handle it. You guys can. You're the select few who can handle what's really going on now. And what's really going on is not that soon XRP will go to the moon. No, this is all, it's just a formality. All these bad guys have been captured, executed, tried, awaiting trial, I saw a guy wearing one of those boots running around in some store we were at. I said, look, Daniela, that guy got arrested. It's happened. And that's what, I mean, Charlie Freak went through all the countries that have capitulated, starting with Saudi Arabia, Israel. They all gave it up. Is the war in Iran real? I don't know. I don't think any of this is real. That's why I get so frustrated, because when I put out a video that really talks about where we're holding right now, where we're holding is where you feel you're holding. You created this. I live up here in the mountains, man. I mean, I feel like I don't spend any time worrying that the inspector is going to come up and go through my septic tank. Though if I was a normal matrix person, I'd be terrified. They're going to come up. They're going to inspect my shit. No, they're not. That my septic tank is not, thank God, is not registered. And because of that, I can't get a mailbox. Or I probably could get a mailbox if I really tried. But the truth is, I don't even want a mailbox. I'm very happy with my mailing situation as it is. I'm wandering. I'm all over the place. I'm just so excited. I'm excited because Charlie Freak said the reason that he doesn't have millions like Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan, the Mashiach, the chosen one, millions of followers. Why? Because Joe Rogan is still in the third dimension. He's still, or he's pretending to be. He still believes that something's happening out there, that things happen out there and they affect you. And it's like, I don't have it for that anymore. But anyway, so Charlie Freak said the reason why he didn't have a big following was because he's considered a nutcase. And me too. I must be considered a nutcase for sure. Because why don't I have all of Joe Rogan's followers following me? Because they still think that Trump is going to make an announcement and something's going to happen and XRP is going to go to the moon, or there's going to be a war in here, or the King's rally is going to have so much power, or the Democrats are going to get reelected, or any of this bullshit that's absolute, total nonsense, fakery, made up bullshit. None of this is important to anyone except people who believe that bullshit. There's nothing going on out there. Nothing. Everything is right here. If you're paying all your bills, I do. I pay my bills. What are my bills? I'm paying off my well. I pay my well dues because I don't want to get into it with them. They came up here. They charged me a lot of money. Because they gave me a price for a certain depth. I was going to find, if I found water, I'm sure they knew this ahead of time. They were all set up for it, but it doesn't matter. I pay them and I pay my friend Sam because I bought his trailer. Those are my bills. Oh yeah, and I pay T-Mobile. Do we pay anybody else? We have a little, like we pay Restream. We pay the little. There are people who have their fangs into our money source. This is all going to be washed away. We're not going to, because the whole system, the whole maritime law, every lawyer, every doctor, not most of the doctors, every fucking doctor that jabbed you with that poisonous bioweapon is going down. And by the way, I am not a medical professional. Okay. I'm actually on TikTok this time. So I'm trying TikTok. We have to create a new one. We have to create a new one. Okay, fine. Fine. The world has been completely transformed. You guys I'm singing to the choir because you guys understand that. But most people are terrified. They can't pay their bills. Because why? Because the money has been inflated it's so like silver, for example. Silver went from, let's say, $30 to $60. It doubled in the last couple months. Is that because silver is really worth that much more? No, it's because they released the controls on it to some small extent. It's probably worth a lot more. But B, the fiat currency is not worth anything. Like Dave at X22 has said this for years. It's not that gold is more valuable than it was in 1920 when it was $20 an ounce. It's that the fiat is worth so much less. The fake currency has no value. Big Bird didn't tell me how to get to Sesame Street. Love the sound of the chimes. Yeah, if it gets to be too much, let me know. I figured it keeps us safe from the demons. We have 2 sets of wind chimes. I mean, I rescued a set from my garden down below. We have a couple of fruit trees in the lower 90. I mean, down there that we water twice a week. And I was keeping my wind chimes on top of that. I have a kind of a greenhouse structure down there, but I rescued it because it was all tangled knots. The wind up here is ferocious. When it's bad, it's bad. Today was bad. It was 30 miles per hour, and I was trying to work on the roof, and I'm like, I just can't stay. It wasn't that I felt like I was in danger. I just felt like I just can't handle feeling the wind at all. I just can't think straight. The wind is powerful. Slaves to fake fiat knows that's going. Yeah. So we're slaves no more. We're as soon as you wake up. However, the reality is that when I go to a store, I can't say to them, "Listen, man, I really want I want these 5 steaks, and fiat currency is not worth anything. So just give me the steaks because we need them." That probably, actually, in my case, it might actually fly. They'd probably say, "Oh, you can pay us back," but the point is that there is this agreed upon insanity that has to officially go away. Now, will it go away on Passover? So Passover is Monday night at midnight. Well, really, Passover starts at sundown on Wednesday night. I'm sorry, Wednesday. But the Yidden, according to the story, and I just want to give a shout out to Charlie Freak on this one, because Charlie, I don't know if he listens to my show. I doubt it. But if he does, I totally agree with you. I think the religions are complete bullshit, made up fantasy by these Satanist Elohim dudes who came and just fucked with mankind in every way possible. So I agree with you, Charlie. But it's not something that you want to go singing. You don't want to go to the supermarket and stand on a soapbox and start telling people that your religions, your government, your doctors, your lawyers, your education, that everything is fake. Your history is fake. Or as Dave would say, fake, phony, and false from X22. I mean, he kept me alive in the beginning. When I first came to understand this information, I was the only one in my community. I mean, I was a total outcast. I mean, not a total outcast. I'm a lovable guy. People love me. But they were like, "Ellie, come on, man." I mean, they would kind of listen to me as a, like, just like you would watch a baseball game. It's just sort of amusing to them. Do you think the British Empire will continue with their evil power of control? The British Empire is toast, man. No, absolutely not. That's just another one of the, I know there's that wonderful woman, Susan Kokinda, I think her name is. She's beautiful. But Trump has obliterated all the countries. England gave it up. All these people have been in surrender mode since 2017, according to Charlie Freak, and I believe him. They all surrendered. The evil British Empire is gone, long gone. They're all long gone. They've all been taken to Gitmo. We're coming. The only thing that's left is for us to wake up. That's it, man. I mean, me too. Listen. I'm not like this heavy duty, spiritual dude, that I'm immune to all this matrix stuff. No, I struggle with it just like you guys do. But we just don't get emotionally involved. We either have money or we don't. We don't like sweat it. We don't think about too much. I mean, Danielle and I plan like when we get our money, this is what we're going to buy, and we do. And we have a very nice like way of it's not always nice, but it's pretty nice way of dealing with the situation. It's just like if we have a bunch of money, let's go buy some stuff, and we know exactly what we need. We refill. We buy a few more steaks. We buy some chicken. We've been buying fish lately. We're buying some wild salmon. A friend of mine came up here and told me that I could do some fish farming, and he said the tilapia that you farm yourself could be quite delicious. That's news to me. Brian Best, Spiritual Bean Coffee. If you have the good fortune to be in Prescott, Arizona, home of Wyatt Earp, you can stop by his coffee shop. If not, the rest of us have to order it online. Brian is such a sweetheart. He sends me like unbelievable amounts of coffee that he pays for. He's just unbelievably generous and nice. Anyway, what you drinking? I'm drinking. What am I drinking? I think it's coffee with whole milk. I was able to get whole milk, not whole milk, raw milk. Coffee with raw milk, a little bit of honey, probably some chocolate, maybe a little Ceylon cinnamon, and she didn't do that. She didn't go. Listen, I listen. People say, "Well, how was it?" I'm like, "How would I know?" I mean, it's to me, it's a liquid that feels good when it goes down my throat. I'm not big on like really like, I really want this food, except for maybe potato chips. I sound like a big shot, but when the truth comes to it, if I was alone on a desert island without Daniela, I'd be eating potato chips all the time. Okay, so now you know the truth. Okay, I'm not on such a high level. Kabbalah guru, yeah. So where and name again? What, you're saying Brian Best, right? Spiritual Bean Coffee. I should really have a banner for it. I'll make a banner for Brian, but you can get him online. Make sure it's from Prescott because there's some fakers out there. But he will sell you hand ground. I mean, He's a little machine. He grinds it himself. And roasts it and grinds it. He's got all these cool combinations. One's called Wyatt Earp. He's got Skywalker, Freight Train, Peruvian, Kenyan. He's got it all, man. He's and if you go to the shop in Prescott, you get to eat Corinne's goodies. She's a great cook. So anyway, yeah. So it's all good. I've seen a lot of lizards in the garden around lately. It's kind of unusual. Yeah, I saw a big one in the house today. But we always have lizards. I don't know. Sounds smooth. Yeah, this one is very smooth. Get some goats for milk. Yeah, we will eventually. We're gonna get. We have that in our plans. We already know where to get the goats from, or the goat milk. Yeah, we have a supplier of goat milk, but yeah, eventually we'll get goats ourselves. In the meantime, I'm starting my farm with a garden and with fruit trees, and now I have an irrigation system, but I want to know what kind of critters I'm dealing with. Will the cows try to eat my stuff? The wild cows, the flying cows, could they fly over my fence? I'm taking it slowly to figure out. I just want for right now, and I'm building a house also, so I don't have a lot of time. I don't have time to I don't want to add milking goats to my itinerary every day yet, but we can get goat milk. Will you post the carrot cake recipe? I didn't. I don't have the carrot cake recipe. I just ate. I went to the post office and Peggy Sue's uh, significant others named Michael, and he bakes, and he sell. We just usually he just bakes stuff that's regular, and Danielle's like, don't even think about it. I'm like, one cookie. She's like, no way. I'm like, well, look, this says keto on it. And she was like, it does. And so I was able to eat not one but two carrot cakes with that were keto. So yeah, appreciate because we're coming. You're going to Prescott. Nice. Yeah, definitely look up Brian. He'll be so happy if you tell him we're from the channel. He'll just tell him ahead of time. He'll probably, who knows, he'll bake you a cake. I don't know what they'll be happy to see you. Uh, um, yeah, let's see. Sounds smooth. Get some goats. Yeah, appreciate because that's good. Prescott is a really beautiful place. You're close. You're not close, but you're like 2.5 hours away from us. We're on more east of Prescott, and it's pronounced Prescott, by the way, Prescott. I used to say Prescott. I mean, Prescott, but the people call it Prescott. But now I'm just like it's Prescott. It's like brisket, Well, it's better than hugs. Than huge as centipedes. I don't know why. Yeah. I like my lizards. I don't have a problem with lizards in my house. I do not have a problem at all. We saw a beautiful one. It was about like this big this morning. I showed Daniela. She's like, "Wow, that's pretty." Snakes, snakes are very shy around here, thank God, and they don't really. We only saw one snake up here where we live, and that was a gopher snake. Took me a while to figure out they look like rattlesnakes. So I was like, not sure what, well, yeah, it doesn't have a triangular head, but sure looks like a rattlesnake, but it wasn't. It was a gopher snake. So I encouraged him to go like a little bit lower. He's probably still around. Geckos stuck over the walls of my home. Wow, that's exciting. And yeah, I've had some snake encounters, but they're very minor compared to my neighbor said, they're everywhere. They're just waiting to bite into your leg, And I was just like, really? So I went out, I bought my first gun was a 22 where I loaded it up with snake shot in case I ran into a snake. I would not shoot a snake unless it was really unless it seemed like it was going to attack me. But I can't imagine why anyone would shoot a snake. I just it doesn't resonate with me so well. It's like I've seen two rattlesnakes so far. One when we were in the car, I just waved. I went by, I waved. I said, "Hey man, what's up?" I think it was a Mojave Green, which they're supposedly very aggressive. And then I saw another one that was just coiled up, peaceful, sitting in the sun on state land. This was last year. And I took a video of him. I said, "Hey, man, what's up?" I did see one snake by the garden. That was a gopher snake. And we surprised each other. When I saw him, I went, "Ah!" And he went, "Ah!" And I said, "I'm sorry, man. You just surprised me. If you had announced yourself, if you had told me you're coming, I would have been a little cooler. But I just suddenly saw the snake and I just freaked. But yeah, no, they don't bother us. We don't. So far, no animals have bothered us at all. Except I had to escort a couple of cute little mice to the other world. But that was about a year ago. I think they came with the RV. I think they were living inside the RV, but they were Western mice. They're not like sneaky little Brooklyn mice, man. I mean, They had like these big eyes. They were dead, but I'm a trapper. I know how to trap animals. When I lived in the suburbs, I tried to trap birds. I mean, I'm like Asaph, maybe. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so Hanukkah's coming. I'm going off. But Hanukkah's coming. Hanukkah, Passover is coming. I don't celebrate it in any way. I don't observe it in any way the way I used to. It was a wonderful holiday. If you live in an Orthodox community, it is so much fun. It is just the best. And usually, even the public school would give me off for at least part of Passover. I think they made a point of making the spring break during Passover because it's 8 days long. In the intermediate days, the Kol Moed, it's called, the days of in between the two big one, there are 2 nights of where you don't drive, you don't do anything, and then there are 2 nights at the end, and then the days in between. It's usually in the Jewish community. All the families take trips. We used to go to this Sterling mine in New Jersey and see all these. We'd go down into the mine, and it was really fun. And Hawaii geckos are good luck. We have lots. They're beautiful. We're not getting rain from rain clouds here in the Rockies. Yeah, we're not getting any rain either. And the chemtrailers are a little more cautious than they used to be. They're not quite out there as much. I hate to say that. How close are we to the golden age of our ancestors you talked about? It sounds like you found a little paradise. I think we're in it. I think we're literally inside. It's just that people aren't ready to make the transformation. Okay, so with that said, and thanks for bringing me back to something close to my purpose of being here, which is to share information and to interpret what's the news. But in my opinion, it is a done deal. We're already in the golden age. It's just you have to decide not to pay your bills, the bills you don't want to pay. If they're charging you outrageous interest and you can't pay it, just tell them to fuck off and just stop. I mean, that's what I did, and they went away. Okay, but that's an individual thing, and I'm not a professional tax person. I have these. I love those wind chimes. Yeah, feeling patio porch. Yeah, yeah. Which is Jewish renewal for the first Seder. My son is zooming the second Seder for my friends. That's sweet. That's sweet. Blue belly lizards. Yeah. What about XRP? Okay, so what about XRP? Okay, so XRP is a great example of the fact that we're already in the golden age. I started buying XRP in like 2020. I bought some Bitcoin, and then I found out about XRP from the Digital Asset Investor, great podcaster. He does 3 podcasts a day. I would probably be doing that still if I wasn't building a house. But XRP, okay, so what's going on with XRP? I started buying XRP years ago. And in my mind, it was and will be and is a tremendous value. There's no question about it. If you can buy some XRP, well, thanks. Yes, you should buy some XRP. If you have XRP, just hold on to it. It's going to be worth $1 zillion, man. I mean, that's it. Now, the when is when I think it's an internal thing. In other words, when you realize that this is something of value and it's worth holding, it becomes something of value worth holding. When is the rest of the world going to understand what XRP is? Could be on Wednesday, could be on Thursday, could be in a year from now. It doesn't matter. It's like let's say your great grandfather gave you Or let's my father was born in 1920. Let's say my father came to me and he said, he said, son, I've been holding on to this gold since I can remember. My father gave it to me and his father gave it to him. I have 3 gold coins I want to give you. So do I get the coins and say, when are they going to have tremendous value? Well, now they do. They're like $4,500. When I was buying gold, it was, I forget, maybe like $2,000. Did anything change from now to then? Does having that gold in my hand mean anything different when it's 4,500 or 2,000, or some people bought it for a lot less? I bought silver coins. I bought the last mint set in 1963. I've been holding on to it all these years. It's still one of my treasured possessions. Am I going to go down to the pawn shop and sell it? I'd probably get, maybe $30 for it. I don't know how much silver is in there, but no, hell no. It has value to me. I'm not going to sell it. So the question is really, what things do you own that you value, that you know are going to be valued by others? Yeah, gold, silver, XRP, XLM. Is it going to go to 10,000 next week? It could. It should. It probably should. But you saw how they controlled the price of silver, and then they brought it down again. Now, I don't know how much of this is a white hat movie and how much of this. That's what I'm saying. If you're involved emotionally in what's going on, it's like, oh my God, he's in Iran. What's going to happen? If you're doing that, or Israel, what's going to happen to Israel? Like my Jewish friends, they're insane. They have been told a mental lie for so long that they believe it. I'm Jewish. Everybody hates me. That's what Charlie Freak was saying. This is total bullshit. Total bullshit. Passover. We get together every Passover and we tell the story over and over again. Why do we tell the story over and over again? It's because we want our children to believe in the Matrix the way we did. That's what the founding members of the civilization, the 13 bloodline creepazoid satanic child-eating people that run this farm, that's what they wanted us to believe. They wanted people, I'm going to get a little outrageous here, they wanted people to believe this European white dude is their savior. I mean, they wanted us to believe that Moses was a real dude. Was he? I don't know. Maybe he was. But it seems to me that they've lied about everything, and that we come from Tartaria. We come from a highly advanced civilization, and they blew everything up. They took all the kids, shipped them across the country. They made us orphans. They killed off our parents, whatever, our great-great-grandparents, and they destroyed all the buildings, the evidence that we come from Tartaria, and they made up this whole baloney world. They made up 3 religions that by their very nature, by their fundamental foundational nature, are designed to hate each other. That is not called God. That is not called the divine. That is called a lie. Fake, like the news. The history is fake. The medicine is fake. The food is it's worse than fake. It's poison. So they kept us poisoned. They filled our heads with all kinds of nonsense about women's liberation and equality, this big equality thing, like blacks and whites are equal. It's like, who doesn't believe that? Who in this day and age, who like, I mean, that's what I was even when I was a teacher, and that was how many years ago already? But let's say 20 years ago, I was teaching a class, and a kid said to me, "You just gave me a bad grade because I'm black." And I said, "You're black?" I'm like, I didn't know. What does that mean? And I meant that. I wasn't saying that because, I was I'll really get over on this guy. No, it's like, you're black. I mean, like people in my community would say, "Ellie, are all your students black?" I'd be like, I don't know. I really didn't know. I really had to think about it. I'm like, well, now that you mention it, I guess you could say that. I just don't think of them that way. They're my students. I don't think this one's black and this one's white. It's like this guy, he's a pain in the ass like this, and this one's always tricking me with that, or whatever they're cool with me. They got my back. When the administrators come in, they're like, "Webbs, they're coming." They called me Big Homie Webbs. Anyway, all right. So yeah, I am tan during the summer, right? Yep, they did exactly what he's saying. They pitted us up against each other. Really? I mean, do you think really like that God would have designed two religions where they hate each other? Apparently, in the old days, from what I've met some very interesting and nice and loving Muslim folks, and they were like, this whole hatred between Jews and Muslims. Our next door neighbors were Jews. We never had a problem like this. This is all manufactured. Every bit of it, every friggin' ounce of it is manufactured. Unless you have a legal and binding deed from your lien holder, you can come and take your land. Well, you know what? I don't even want to think that thought. Why would you even think such thought? Fuck you. I don't even want you on my channel. Is that a bot? I don't know. It's like, fuck you. Yeah, really? That's what I'm supposed to be thinking about? No. I did block him, I think. Yeah, Adam Bucks on receive chat. Yes. Okay. Really, in the middle of this freedom march, you're gonna tell me, no, they can take my car. Fuck you. No one's taken my land. No one's taken my land. But this is the matrix. They don't have a legal government. The government is a sham. It's based on maritime law. It's based on our birth certificates, which is a total bullshit sham that you had nothing to do with. Your parents signed it because they thought they were supposed to. I remember when my boy was born, we're like, okay, yeah, he's got to do his birth certificate. I didn't know it was a sham to sell him into slavery. So you're telling me, oh, they can do this, they can do that. If I don't pay my credit card bills, they're going to come after me. Who's coming after you? They're in more trouble than we are. They are totally, you have a legal standing. You're a divine being living in a divine world. They don't have any standing. They're total fakery on all level. If they don't end up in Gitmo and they're not executed, believe me, the last thing on their mind is going to be, I'm going to come after this dude who's running a channel, or who knows that we're criminals and this is all, we're pretending to be a government that doesn't exist. It does not exist. They have no legal standing. It is a corporate government that went belly up in 2020, or whenever Trump decided to bankrupt this corporate, the English. You say, are the English still in power? No. None of them are in power. And that's what Charlie was saying. He was saying he went to Saudi Arabia, he went to Israel, he went to the Europeans, he went to China, and they all said, you know what, don't publish what we do to kids, and you do whatever you want. We're behind you. It's over. It's over when you say it's over. The only thing you're waiting for is for you and I to wake up. That's why I react. I don't want anything about lien holding and this bullshit in my mind. That's why I don't want people like that on my channel. Go listen to Joe Rogan and get reality. three-dimensional reality. Oh, Trump's really doing this, and it's a movie. You're watching a friggin' movie. If Trump says it himself. Central casting. He turned to his Treasury Secretary. He says, "Central casting. Look at him, even with the glasses." Trump is telling you to your face, it's a movie. If you're going to get involved with a movie, get involved with a good movie. It's not even a good. It's like, oh my gosh, the English is so, oh my gosh, if I don't pay my mortgage, screw that. They know that everything they're doing, charging me interest, everything else is illegal. This is a divine world. It's run by godliness and divine rules, and we're coming to understand that. We have been captured. They shifted us around. They sent us across the country, the orphan trains. They. I don't want to think about they. I want to think about us. What are we doing? What am I doing? Well, what am I doing? I'm cooking for my girl. We made burgers today, man, on the fire. All she really wanted was a piece of bacon. She didn't really even want, she's on a higher level than me. She doesn't eat as much as me. She likes fish now. She ate some bone broth and beef stew. She did have some food. We had a fruit salad. That's I worked on. I rebuilt the medicine cabinet in my little bathroom in my RV today. That's what I did. I started working on the upstairs. I put in a very important beam today. A beam that was really needed. And now I feel more secure walking up there. That's what I did today. I walked and I looked at my plants and I talked to them. That's my reality. I don't sit around thinking about they're going to put a lien on me. Oh my gosh. That's for others, That's for people who are still sleeping. That's for people who want to live in fear. Listen to Susan Kokinda. Listen. Okay, so let me. Okay, I'm going back, and I know I'm going long. I want to spend some time with my sweetie. Some downtime. Okay, so let me. I'm going to play the beginning and the end of this tape. This should tell you everything you need to know. Okay. Okay, I have to do this. Wait a minute. I have to do this in a different way. I have to start it first. This is the Matrix, because the Matrix is just the Restream is designed by people who live in the Matrix. Okay, so all right, let me play this clip first. All right, this clip is going to tell you how far into the golden age we are. They're not going to be any schools anymore. That's what Millennia says. Okay, let's listen to that, and then I'll play this other tape. Okay, let's see. Here we go. It's over here. Wait a minute. I didn't share this correctly. Let me do this again.
Humanity's knowledge base. The future of AI is personified. It will be formed in the shape of humans. Very soon, artificial intelligence will move from our mobile phones to humanoids that deliver utility. Since our environment is designed for people, humanoid systems are uniquely suited to navigate and operate within our world. They fit well Imagine a humanoid educator named Plato. Access to the classical studies is now instantaneous. Literature, science, art, philosophy, mathematics, and history. Humanity's entire corpus of information is available in the comfort of your home. Plato will provide a personalized experience, adaptive to the needs of each student.
Okay, so that's where we're going teaching-wise. I mean, that's where we're going in terms of school. You won't need schools. I probably won't need to build my own house. I'll probably be able to work with an AI carpenter. Now, does that make it, oh no, AI is taking over the world? No, don't say that. That's more negativity, more fear. That's what this idiot that came on and said, oh, aren't you worried about your lien? They're going to put a lien on you. Fuck you. Fuck you and your matrix. Go back to your matrix. You want to worry about your lien? You worry about your lien. I don't think about it. I live on the land. Okay, I live on my land, period. But the teaching, everything is already different. You don't have to go to school. You could get on with these AI things anyway. But it's not to take over humanity. They're going to take it. No, it's to make it easier for us so we can spend time creating. We are a highly evolved species that's different from any other species. I believe we were seeded by 22 star races. They messed with our genetics. If you want to believe in the Bible said this is predictive programming. The reptile got into the garden and fucked with your DNA, and now you can't have any knowledge. You can't live forever. And God said it, so kicked you out of the Garden of Eden. Do you believe that? Do you believe that God acts that way? Do you believe that God would kick his creation out of the Garden of Eden for knowing too much? I mean, it's insane. It's insane to even, I spent 25 years. Listen, it's very comforting. It's wonderful to live by Torah. It's a great way to live. I recommend it. I still recommend it. It's better than nothing. It's the best thing on the planet, but we're coming into something much higher, much better, in my opinion. So education, just one example. We're already there. We don't have to even wait. You don't have to wait for the official announcement. Now, let me go to this other clip that I wanted to play. Okay, so I'll start it here first. Let's see if I think it was close by. Yeah. Oh, there's just some great things I want to show you. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, this is it, right? Okay.
And I hope and pray that you listen. 2017, Trump's inauguration speech is where it all starts. He came out and said, "Today we are not transferring power from one administration to the next, or from one party to the next, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, a lot of people." What he did that day, a lot of people don't understand. He eliminated the entire act of 1871 right there. He had military intelligence on one side of him. They monitor everything, they record everything, emails, text messages, phone calls, etc. He had military tribunal judges on the other side. And he told you, for too long, a small group of people have reaped the rewards of government while the people have bore the cost. And he said that stops here, that stops now, that stops today. Right after that, he did an executive order, 13818, 13903. The 13903 was arrest all involved in human trafficking worldwide, seize any and all property of anybody involved in human trafficking worldwide.
Okay, so what this guy is saying, and it's the same thing that Charlie Freak said, It's already happened in 2017. It's all that's waiting is for us to wake up. Does that mean if they started giving me a hassle, I could go down to the government and say, you guys are a bunch of fake. You don't have any constitutional authority whatsoever? Yeah, that's what it means. I go down, so they don't bother me. And if they do, I'll go down. I'll say, you get out of my face. I bought this land. Fuck you. You don't have any authority. You're not a real government. It's already happened. It's just that why am I still, this is the question I asked, and Charlie Freak really answered it for me. Why am I not Joe Rogan? Why are there not 5 million, 10 million, 100 million people on this channel waiting to hear the truth? It's because people are not ready. They still look at me, a person like me or Charlie Freak, and say, these guys are nutcases. They don't, what do you mean? I don't have to pay my bills. I have to pay my bills. We have to. We have to pay our credit cards, or I'll get a bad credit rating from a murderous child trafficking, child cannibalistic organization that is trillions of dollars in debt. They're going to give you a credit rating, and we're worried about it. Hey, whatever. Anyway, you guys know, yes, I am spicy tonight. That's because Daniela fed me some good coffee, Brian's coffee. Okay, so let me go to the end of this video clip, because I think what he lays it out by executive order, how everything has already happened, just like Charlie Freak in his video about the capitulation, the sword dance, and all these other things. All the nations of the world have already given up. And by the way, I saw another thing that said the communists, the Chinese communists, they were ousted a while ago, and the people were delighted to get rid of these bastards. Just like in Iran, they can't wait to get that. He's not fighting Iran. He's fighting the deep state. He's fighting the 13 bloodline families. He's fighting the Vatican. Charlie Freak said the Vatican and the Jesuits ran the banking system. So if you ask me, is XRP, what's going to happen with XRP? It's already happened. It's already worth a lot. Whether the world knows about it or not, who cares? I have XRP. I will never have to worry about money. Do I have to worry about it now? A little bit. We go from, we're like everybody else. We go from check to check. We either have money and then we spend it on necessities, or we don't have it. Now, let me play the end of this video. It was so nice. Like I said, Caspa said to me, he says, Ellie, the people are not ready yet. But when they're ready, you put out all these hundreds of videos. And I don't know why I do this. I don't know how I do this. I just do it. This is my job. I think, I'm sure I'm like a starseed or something. I've been trained, but I'm conditioned to do this. I don't plan these little things. I know what to say. How do I know what to say? Because it's really not even me. It's just stuff coming through me that I've been trained from who knows what, maybe I had my own star ship back in the day. And I was like, and they said, hey man, you want to go, you want to volunteer some time on Earth? All you have to do is just forget everything. You just go to Earth and forget everything, and we'll take care of it, man. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Do I get to hang out with, with a beautiful woman at the same time, and get to eat food and live in places with incredible views and get to see sunsets? They're like, yeah, you could do that too. I'm like, okay, man, send me down. All right, so here we go. Let's hear the end of this video, because this is an answer to the idea: are the British people in control, and should you pay your bills? Here we go. Okay, let's go forward.
$5,000. My suggestion to you is this: do not spend it on any bills. You need to buy food, water, supplies for at least 3 weeks. You better take me at my word. I'm dead serious. Your government is being dismantled, little by little right now. And they have been for a long time, actually. It's called the devolution plan. 90% of your government is gone, but you still have corrupt attorneys out here. You still have landlords. You still have company, corporation, and organization owners that are still enforcing laws that don't exist. And those people are the ones who violated that Presidential Executive Order 13818, which, by the way, it has been extended 4 times. Inside of it, it tells you property blocked for personal and private gain. If you think you've seen anything yet, trust me, you haven't seen nothing yet. When Trump said worldwide military leaders in that room with him, and this is the calm before the storm, you better understand what he said. A lot of people don't know that there is a secret weapon that they have. It's not a regular weapon like what you think. It is an actual court case done by United States Supreme Court, the highest court in the land. You don't get any higher than that. And when Trump said that we are the law and order, and that everything will go by the law of the land, that is exactly what he meant. Take my word for it, folks. Don't spend that shit on your bills.
All right. I mean, yeah, I mean, I agree. Don't spend. You should be, I mean, you should be in a position to get through a couple of weeks if you have to. Is the EBS coming? I don't know. I've been saying no because it doesn't seem like the white hat way. But people are going to wake up one way or another. Whatever it takes, it's going to be different for everybody. But I mean, yeah, having 3 weeks worth of food, it's not so much food. It's not that if you don't eat, if you don't eat Prado's food, if you don't eat, you don't eat your cornflakes and your oatmeal and all that other bullshit, and you just have, I mean, we eat meat and fruit and only keto fruit. That's what, for Daniela. I eat I'm a little more practical when it comes to fruit. I'll eat oranges and grapefruits. She won't at this point. But it's very easy to have a week's worth of fruit. That's how we live. We don't go to the grocery store. We go like once a week, really, essentially. And we don't always have money, so sometimes we can go to the town and not be able to buy anything. But we live on raw milk, cream, fruit, and meat. Now we're eating fish. We have chicken. We have steaks. When I go to Sprouts, I stock up on their skirt steaks. I like their skirt steaks, like $15 for a pretty nice meal for 2. And we freeze everything's in the freezer. Now, I don't have to worry about the grid going down, and I don't have to worry about the water supply. So, and we don't drink water from plastic containers, although except we do because we have plastic containers. But she won't let me drink from the little bottles, but we're trying to clean up our act here, but at least we have a well. At least we have access to water now. And if the generator is working, which seems to be somewhat cooperative to me, and now that I'm a real wannabe redneck, and now that I can, I'm like, generator, man, come on, give me your best shot. Yeah, we I had to take this wire off and that wire off, and I had some help from Norm. Norm came, and I said, Norm, this thing just won't start. He's like, here, let me look at it. He turns it upside down. He pulls out one wire. I called these people for weeks. I called the repair shop at what is our generator? what do you call that thing? Whatever. I called the guys at the shop for weeks. You need this part, you need that part. Maybe if you do this, you do that. They couldn't fix the problem. Norm came. Norm is like super, like he's my Superman. He's an angel. But Norm came. He pulled one wire out, and the thing's been working ever since. It's just like the cars they make. They make these cars. Like I would not buy a new car right now because there's so many computers.
Well, Jeep.
What?
Jeep truck.
Deep truck?
Jeep.
We buy, I don't know. Even the Jeep. Well, the Jeep wasn't bad, but the Jeep was nice. We miss our Jeep, but we're good in our big old truck, man. It's
No, maybe it's dangerous.
yeah.
Maybe it's
Daniela
dangerous.
says dangerous because our roads are
No more big trucks again.
no more. She says no more big trucks, but we need a big truck to hold it.
But that's easy to see how like a Jeep is.
Yeah, but for the trailer, we need a big truck.
Well, that's easy to see.
Okay, so for my trailer, listen. Anyway, I love raw milk and dairy. I get it. You got to go to the pet deli, right? Whole Foods has some yummy cheese too. Yeah, there's only one cheese that Danielle will buy.
The raw milk.
A raw milk cheese. But I mean,
California.
but whatever. Anyway, yeah, beans, potatoes. Yeah, we don't. She's not crazy about potatoes. We don't eat. We don't. Is beans non keto?
Yeah, I don't.
We don't deal with beans. But I don't listen, man. If you're into beans, I would eat them. If left to my own. But but Norm. Yeah, Norm is my angel, man. Norm is like he's the godfather of this community. He's if he had a ring, I would kiss it. He's done more good things for people that are really people don't come here. Like I have a friend. The guy actually works for Norm, and he says he sometimes listens to my channel. But this guy is like a normal guy. It's not like, well, I just decided I wanted to live off the land. I mean, this guy is like he knows how to do everything. He knows how to fish farm. He knows how to farm. He knows how to grow broccoli sprouts. He knows all about guns. He knows about metals. He knows how to trade forex. He knows how to drive a semi, a big friggin' truck. He knows how to start. I mean, this guy, and I'm lucky to meet people like that. But people don't live out here that are just like, hey man, I like to start a farm, and it's like you ain't gonna make it out here. You have to have, what do they call it? Grit. You got to have grit. You got to be able to spend. Sometimes things go wrong, and you just have to say, okay, look, it'll be better tomorrow. Like the wind was bad today. I'm just like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not on a schedule. And something I also realized when I work out on the land, I don't rush. I don't rush around. Sometimes I do, but generally I'm just like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. And things get done. Not in a way like if I was working for the hour, somebody would have fired me a long time ago. But I'm working with my mind, and I'm like, okay, let me check this out. Let's do this. Today I put on we got 4 pieces of plywood from Home Depot that we could afford. They were half price. So we got 4 pieces. So I was able to finish my well house. I put the 3rd piece of plywood on. So now my generator, my dear generator, my loving generator, my always friendly and cooperative generator has been shielded from the sun completely. So that's a good thing. Last year I left it out in the sun the whole summer, and I'm making restitution for it now. You spoke to Norman on the phone, yeah. I got blocked about talking about Jesus, wine, and did fine. You got blocked, yeah. I mean, Charlie Freak says what I'm thinking, which is it's all phony baloney. No, it can't be. No, I can tell a religious freak from a mile away because I was one. It was just something that I had to go through. The second I've heard about him this week, yeah. Norm is he's like the he's got all the heavy equipment out here, and he's just his heart. He has a big heart, and he I guess he likes to help weird people like me, and he got us set up, and he didn't like he wasn't namby-pamming me. He's like, well, what do you feel like? What do you want to do? And so he was like, he got in his truck. He drove to the top of the property. He says, this is where, this is a good spot. And he came out with his witching sticks. And he said, there's water right here. I mean, there's some amazing people. There are amazing people in the world, and you guys are amazing people. I hope you realize that. Let me just show one other thing that I think was just so beautiful. That was there's a lot. They're saying this phony baloney, kings and queens, whatever. If bringing down a satanic child sex trafficking ring will collapse the world as we know it, then collapse the world. Yeah. Love is a currency. Yeah, it really is about love. This is, they're leaving Germany. The troops are leaving Germany. Why the hell were American troops in Germany since World War II? Do you think Hitler's about to rise up again? I don't see it. But this clip, I love this, man. And this is where we're holding. We're at a place where we can appreciate this kind of thing. Let me just show this. This is so beautiful. Okay, I was 38 when I pulled that little girl from a burning car on my way home from work. Her parents didn't make it, and she clung to me like she had no one else. Everyone told me to step back, but she reached for me every time I returned. With no relatives found, I signed. Oh, I can't. Oh, I hate this. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, what did I do? Okay, wait. Let me go back. Okay, I have to go like this. All right. Now I can show you this. All right. Okay. So here, go back. Right. I was 38 years old. I pulled a little girl from a burning car on my way home from work. Her parents didn't make it, and she clung to me like she had no one else. Everyone told me to step back, but she reached for me every time I returned. With no relatives found, I signed the papers and took her home. She became Avery, strong, disciplined, determined. 25 years later, wearing her new badge, she whispered, "Dad, now let me protect you." Is that the most beautiful story? Isn't that amazing? Look at that. Look at the guy. I'm a little jealous of his beard, but other than that, it's pretty cool. I mean, I would let my beard grow like that if it had the will to do that. But my beard is it doesn't grow that fast. But what a beautiful story, man. And this is really, when you live in the divine world, things like this happen to you, and you're just like, okay, it's cool. Like, for me, Daniela she sent me an email. She says, you need me. I could have said, well, who are you? I don't even know you. I was just like, okay, come over. I mean, she tried to tell me, well, I have speech problems and I, I have these other issues. I was like, I don't know. What do I care? Come over. Let's see if we get along. I mean, this goes to the thing that I was trying to say the other day about Vinicio, about hiring this guy who didn't really know from carpenter. I had a contracting company, and this guy came to my thing, and he would always say when I asked him to do something, "No problema." All the other carpenters were like, "Ellie, we can't do that." He's like, "No problema." That a person who's willing is worth 1,000 million times more than a person who has great skills or great, wealth or great whatever. That a person who is willing to stick by you no matter what. And Vinicio was like, I fired my whole crew when in 1989, when the SNL thing came down, and there was no business. The business was just kaput, and I All the other guys, they left. I had like 10 guys working for me. They all walked. I can't pay you guys anymore. I was paying them a nice salary, and there were no jobs. So Benicio said, no problema. And we worked for a while, and we made a lot of money. I made more money with me and Benicio than I did with my whole big crew doing 5 editions at a time. I made a lot more money, just me and him. And I mean, it was like, hey, this is pretty cool. But eventually I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I love the building. Now I get to build without having somebody, saying, well, you said you were going to, it's been 5 hours already and you haven't finished it. I'm like, you do not know if you've ever been handy, if you've ever fixed anything, you never know how things you start fixing something and then you realize I don't have the right screwdriver. That's the kind of thing that, I mean, up here I have every kind of screwdriver tip you can imagine. We have to repurpose things because it's an hour drive into town, and I'm not going to go into town just to buy some little fitting. But when I go to town, I will buy 5 of a particular fitting just in case I need it somewhere else. So I got a little hardware store going up here. But people that are willing, and you guys are the willing ones. You are the masters of the universe. Wow, 285. That's more than usual. That's great. Maybe Joe Rogan, look out, man. I'm coming down. I got the goods now, man. You got fluff, man. You got fluff. Just because you got a few tattoos doesn't mean shit to my people, because my people are interested in authenticity. They're interested in truth. They're interested in somebody who's real deal. You might pretend to be, no, I'm not competing with Joe Rogan. But anyway, and Charlie Freak says it. It's just like the world is not ready for us now yet. But I think, like people are saying, more and more people are going to be saying, well, maybe he's not so crazy after all. Maybe, living off grid, I mean, could be okay. I don't know, You got to have grit, man. No matter what you do, you got to have grit. You just have to be determined. Like with my podcasting, I never was like, do I really feel like podcasting tonight? I'm like, I podcast tonight. That's it. I got to get up there. Do I feel like it? Who cares? Maybe I don't feel like it tonight. So what? It's not about me. This is what I do. And that's called grit. And same with living up here. Did we come into obstacle after obstacle? It's like, well, now we're screwed, man. We don't have any money. The water, whatever it is. The well, I didn't have tens of thousands of dollars to invest in a well. And I tricked the guy into coming up here. He said, talk about Norm. The guy said, I'm not coming up on your land. He said, I'm not bringing my machines on your land. There's no flat. I need a big flat space for my dudes, I said, well, what should I do? He says, talk to Norm. Norm knows what to do. So I talked to Norm. I said, okay, Norm, come help us. And he came up with his little truck, and he came out with his divining rods, and he went up to the top of my property where I was afraid to even walk, much less drive. He's like, let's go up there, Okay, whatever you say, Norm, And then the well digger was like, show me where the place is. I said, yeah, just follow me. When he got here, he said, I never would have come up here. I never, thank God I'm still alive. I mean, the guy was like, I'm like this big, humongous guy full of tattoos, tough looking guy. He's like, I could have died on your roads. I'm like, I drive that every fucking day, you asshole. But he, because he followed me instead of checking it out first, he brought his truck all the way up that Norm had flattened. And he said to me, he says, I would not have come up here if I had gone first. I never would have come up here. But since I said, just follow me, by the time he realized how bad the roads were, it gets worse when you go from, when you're on my land. Once you get on my land, the roads are, much more challenging. But anyway, he got up here and he started drilling, and then we got to 300 feet, and there was a little bit of water. I said, keep going, and the rest is history. Obstacles, grit, man. Just keep going. Don't worry about it. If you get a bunch of money, man, do not pay your bills. Do not pay the credit card companies. Buy some groceries. Get some frozen skirt steaks from Sprouts. If you're lucky enough to live on the West Coast. We went back to the East Coast. We were able to find everything we needed but we went to co-ops. They have co-ops on the East Coast. They don't have Sprouts. So I'm a West Coast dude now, man. I mean, I've been here for 2 years. I go back to New York. I don't think so, man. No fucking way. Oh, you're parked. You're 1 inch into the parking space. I got to write you a ticket. I'd be like, yeah, okay. You out here they don't. Well, first of all, parking's not an issue. There's so much space. But if you do violate, I got a speeding ticket, and Daniela was nice enough to say to the officer, "We're not paying it. In fact, we're not even going to. We're just going to throw it away." And he says, "Well, you have to go to court, or else you're going to get arrested." She's like, "We're not going to court. We don't even believe in your phony courts. This is English maritime law. I'm going to come to a fake court? No way." So we got this, man. I mean, but I want to commend everyone who is brave enough to put up with this nutty dude, and yeah, Pesach is coming, XRP is coming. We're coming into the promised land. Yeah, let's do it, man. All right, so let's leave the Matrix.
Living in the city, I was paying down my bills. One flat tire, and the whole thing went to hell. Credit cards for groceries, I'm deep in debt again. It's time to split this scene, walk with you, my friend. Leaving the Matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the Matrix, we're heading for the promised land. Stopped paying taxes, your insurance I don't need. The medicines are killing us, hospitals grow like weeds. Moved into paradise, I don't need no gassy cars. Fake news, endless wars, a satanic legal bar. Leaving the Matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the Matrix, heading for the promised land. My friends all tell me I lost control. Left my wife and job just to run down rabbit holes. But I can tell you one thing about my fall. Where we go one, we go all. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land.
So I'm sorry that it's not easier to get the song. I've tried. I try myself to get it. I can't even get it. But it is on Rumble. But it's hard to find on Rumble. It's also, all these songs are on X. I don't know how you would look them up, but I looked up Language of the Heart on X and I found it. So X, it should be on YouTube, but they've taken me down so many damn times. They're just, it's just insane. Anyway, coming into Passover, this is a big deal. I wouldn't be surprised if President Trump used this to the 2nd. He's already talked about April 2nd. So make sure you got your stuff in order, man. I mean, whatever that takes. If the electric goes out, I don't, if you're on grid, I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. It's all going to work out. The military will be there to help you. I don't believe like this guy, like you got to have, but you should have that anyway. You should always have. I mean, the first thing we do whenever we travel, the first place we go is to like a food store, and we stock up. It's like we buy everything we need when we can get it, because there's sometimes we don't either have the money or we don't have. I'm sorry, I don't look up, because I actually have to look up to see. To be looking in the eye, and I'll try to do that more. I think there was a comment that said that, yeah. So I'll try to. I've been putting it out on my X posts lately. I've been putting the link to my songs, but I'll try to figure out a way. I know I should. I don't have the stomach. I mean, if somebody wants to deal with Spotify, I try dealing with them. It takes days. They're so up the matrix's rear end that it's like, well, you didn't fill out this form and your password is backwards, and I'm just like, it's like this guy wanting me to think about leaning, like I should be scared about leaning on my house. I'm like, I don't. Who has time for that? Who has time for fear? You're creating a world. You're leaving the matrix. Peggy, I look forward to seeing you again, and we got this. So may the force be with you. May you realize that you are the force. That's what they're all saying. And you guys are the ones. You get it. You guys get it. Don't go changing to try to please me. You just keep doing wherever you're holding, man, whatever rung you're on this great ascendancy, just keep going. Just have grit. I mean, I didn't know I was going to end up buying 170 acres in the middle of the Mojave Desert. I had no idea. I was looking for a place to live in Arizona, and the houses were just too damn expensive. Then, I saw this place, like 170 acres. I said, I'll buy it. And yeah, I told you the whole story. And then I called the real estate agent. I spent my rent money, about $1,000 I'd save for rent in New York City. I put it right on the land. He said, just give me $1,000 and I'll hold it for you. Then I called him back. As soon as I did that, I said, I made a mistake. I don't really, I don't think. He's like, don't worry, man. You're going to love this. This is godliness, man. You just surrender to the force. You are the force. You don't have to go anywhere. Luke, you are the force. You are the source of all creation. You are the envy of the universe, from what I understand, because you have emotions, you have creativity, you can think outside the box. Don't worry about AI. Yeah, you got somebody to cook your, I could save 2 hours a day not having to cook, not having to start a campfire and clean the pot and defrost the meat and all that. I'll have AI do it, and I'll work on the building, and maybe they'll help me with the building too. Is that a bad thing? Then I can do more growing and more creating, and I could build a garage for my beastly old truck that Daniela doesn't like. It's all good. So let's get out there with a big smile on our face. New week, man, coming into Passover, coming into April 2nd. You got this. We got this. So let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.